Checking screen. Hey everyone, just making sure everything is right. Looks good. Hey everyone, a very warm welcome to Binance Smart Chain's 500 million investment program, which falls under the 1 billion growth fund AMA. I'm Simran Alfonso and I look after PR and communications at BSC. We have a special guest today with your Gwendolyn Regina, who is the investment director at BSC Accelerator Funds. She will be helping us understand more about BSC projects and how they can invest in our billion-dollar fund. So, this is just going to be an exciting AMA where she's going to go through all the ins and outs of all the investment programs that we have and how projects building on top of BSC can actually gain investments from it. So, to give a quick introduction of Gwendolyn, she comes from a background of investments and VCs. Being an ex Facebook employee, she's very well acquainted with mainstream media and investments. She also has a very extensive experience in investments and incubation programs, and she joined Binance a couple of months ago. So, without waiting up much, let's get her on screen. Hey, Gwen.
Hi, Simran. Thank you for the introduction. Can I add on? Can I add
Yes,
on as
yes,
well?
please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So really excited to kind of share more about the 500 million investment program as part of the like huge 1 billion growth fund. And I also add that, while we do investments, I've also had the dual hats. I've been also an entrepreneur myself. I've started and ran a lot of things. So I identify with all of you builders and entrepreneurs out there who are doing cool things. So I love to kind of talk to all of you.
Great, that's nice. So, Gwen, I'm just gonna go off screen and it's all over for you. Thank
Wait,
you.
you're going off screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought you were on screen with me, but okay, sure.
No, it's your presentation time, so you go ahead with it, and then
All
for
right.
FAQs, I'll join you again.
Sounds good. All right. Sounds good. So again, so let me share screen now with everyone. I do have a few slides I would love to kind of share with all of you. And look forward to your questions. We've also kind of crowdsourced and reached out to the community before this to kind of gather your questions. And I understand from Simran that she's really collated quite a few, and she's got questions for me. So I'm excited to hear what they are. But yeah, so let me start, right? So again, as all of you have seen, we announced a 1 billion growth fund about 2 weeks ago. Right now, we've separated it into 4 different pillars. So 100 million is targeted for talent development. Another 100 million is for liquidity incentives. 300 million is for builders, developers, incubation program, the top dApps. 500 million is investments. So today I want to give a little bit more detail about what we're thinking about, but also kind of set the basis that this 1 billion, there's so much potential in which we can grow. And really, we're here to grow crypto mass adoption and also really just see, kind of Web 2, Web 3 bridge together. We just want more people using the good technology that all of you are building right here. Yeah. So some of you have probably attended the liquidity incentive AMA with Sammy last week. And some of you may have also heard me speak a little bit about the 1 billion overall yesterday. And so today I want to go a little bit deeper in the investment side of things, and want to hear questions regarding, again, like pitching, maybe kind of what we look out for at BSC Accelerator Fund. Happy to kind of share that in more detail. So what is this investment program? So this 500 million, again, we have 2 objectives. We want to accelerate mainstream adoption. So again, grow crypto mass adoption. Second is to disrupt specific industry sectors. So some of the sectors that we kind of looked at is infrastructure, decentralized computing, GameFi, advanced DeFi, so DeFi 2.0, social fi, and real world assets, and many more. So what does this mean practically for all of you? That's a question we always get asked, right? So we do up to 1 million in ticket size in general for direct investments. And we do a mix of equity and tokens, depending on what kind of stuff you're building. So you can see here a little link there. So that's a Google form that we use to get your applications for funding. So if you're looking for investments, you're part your fundraising right now, please do click the link, not click the link, sorry. Type in the link in your browsers and fill it up, and it will get sent to our team where we will look at it. I assure you that every single application, we are looking at it. Okay, even if I cannot promise to reply to everyone, but we do look at everything. Okay. So what kind of stuff we're looking for? What's our investment criteria? So we welcome all stages, right? So if your idea stage all the way to you already have a live product, you have great traction, we welcome all stages. So the a bit more nuance in this aspect is this, which is that the earlier you are, the less product development you have, the more towards an idea stage you are at, the more innovative you need to prove yourself up to be, right? Because the earlier you are, I mean, we really only have your idea to go upon and your team, right? So we really need to understand well, and I'll go into that in more detail as well. So ultimately, in the Google form, what we'll ask for, there are several questions regarding kind of why you're unique. What's the short description of your product, what's your team background, but also the documentation that we like to see. If you have an investment pitch deck, feel free to please include that as well. And of course, business model, tokenomics, how you want to make sure that your platform is sustainable, and it will serve the community, and you're thinking in the long run rather than just short-term goals. And if you're not already live, on mainnet, if you are on testnet, love to see, some sort of video or something, product demo, or at least some screenshots maybe. And when we do reach out to you, because again, we cannot reach out to everyone, we do see a lot of applications. When we get on a call, we'd love to kind of see that as well. But that's for later on, right? So, but really, we are looking for some basic information about what you're building, the platform that you envision that many people will use. We really want to understand what your vision is of the world, yeah, and how you intend to get that into reality. So the questions we think about when we invest, when we look at a potential a project in front of us, is there's a few main sections here. So the first one is, how innovative are you? So innovativeness. So in the whole landscape, like, why are you unique, right? What are you building that's so special? We want to see product innovation in terms of features, in terms of thinking, tokenomics, and so then links to the second question is that, are you solving a problem that hasn't been solved before? Are you building something that hasn't been built before? Third, do you have a clear vision, right? So this part is, we really want to see how well you understand the space in which you are playing at, how well you understand and can frame again the problem you're solving, the product you're building. How does the solution map to your problem that you're solving? So this is really about strategic vision, strategy, and being able to again clearly know what you want to build for society. And again, when we go back to the objectives of the fund is accelerating mainstream adoption. I think that's what we all want to do together, to expand the pie, to bring more of our friends and family into crypto. So we want to see that reflected in your vision as well. Second, big section is traction, right? So if again you're already live on mainnet, on whatever chains you have, especially on BSC, we want to understand how many active users you have, transaction volume, again depending on your product, TVL, stuff like that, right? So we really want to understand again what you've built. Are there people using it? Have you solved a problem? Have you filled a market need, right? If you aren't already live, you're just pre-launch, you're still kind of testing it out, then we want to see ideas of your MVP, so minimal viable product. Have you tested out with a niche group of your potential users, and how is that traction and experiment coming along? If you're just in a pure idea screenshot stage, then again, this doesn't really apply to you, right? But we'd love to kind of hear again, like how are you thinking about validating your product to get to product market fit. Third big section is team, and this is vitally important. In investments, we always say that when you invest in something, it's always investing in a team, So two questions I want you all to kind of understand kind of where we are seeing things is that first question, why are you the right team to be building this product, right? So what's your background or experience that you have that is pertinent and relevant to this project? So like, why do you create this, right? That's a question I always ask, like, why this idea? There's so many ideas, you can build so many things. Why this particular one? So then this will let me understand, from the collective background and experience that your founding team has, why this product has come into fruition. So we really want to understand the team dynamics. We want to understand how you may build your team as well, and basically how would you use the funding that you're getting to build the whole project, to build a platform, build a team, the project, how you be spending on. And so a lot of it really goes down to how you are thinking and what skill sets you have within the team. So there's a whole bunch of questions actually we do think about when we look at a project and a company in front of us. But I'll just bucket everything else into kind of the last section here under others. So do you know what you don't know? So I'll repeat it again. Do you know what you don't know? There's a reason why I'm saying this is because when you are building a project that is very new to the market, there's a lot of things you don't know. There's a lot of unknowns, and I want to understand whether you know what you need to validate. So again, product market fit means that you've gotten scale, you've gotten a sustainable group of audience and users that are using your product regularly. So it goes back to the traction question, right? Is the traction growing sustainably, rapidly? We want to see high growth, right? So we want to understand, to get there, what do you know, what experiments you need to do to validate that. So there's a lot here to kind of unpack, and I would love to talk more if you've got more questions there regarding how we think about investments. So going back to kind of company building and project building, really here, when we look at a project in front of us, we want to understand how you will not hopefully not fall into the trap of the common failures here as listed on the left hand side that makes a project and a startup fail, right? So you have many different reasons. One of the two top reasons is running out of money and no market need. So when we think about running out of money, a lot of it comes to, again, not managing your cash flow ultimately, right? Your tokenomics, how you're spending the funds you're raising from investors wisely or not wisely. Market need, again, I've been saying product market fit several times right now. That's super important, where we want to make sure that you're building something that is perfect for right now, that fits the current market, the current landscape. And when you go to the third point of getting out competed, we want to also see you react to the market, right? Because again, we know crypto moves extra fast. The whole industry has so many new projects all the time, new features. We want to see you being able to keep up, go ahead of the trend, move faster than the rest, move faster than competitors. And which means also that it relates back to your product, that you're always evolving and pivoting. When we go to the right-hand side about things to focus on, this is where, we want you to really think about the different buckets of the stuff that you should be, thinking about, right? So right at the top, product design market, finding PMF, tokenomics, that's all kind of, all one bucket. Technology, again, how secure are you, your smart contracts, how well programmed they are, how well it's thought through. Are you just forking something blindly? Are you actually really looking at a code properly and kind of thinking kind of from the ground up rather than just blindly just forking someone else, right? So the second last section here, management and operation, this is a whole bucket that includes marketing. So in this Web3 world, community management, user growth is tied so heavily to marketing. Word of mouth is so important. I think this will get even more important as we go along, because we are seeing this early stage still of Web3, right? And when we want like our friends and families to come over to this part of the world, a lot of strategies might change. A lot of strategies will change. So we want to see you have skill sets to be able to keep up with all this. And if you're fundraising, we want to see you have, again, a good fundraising strategy, again, tied in with good understanding of business model, pricing, tokenomics. So really, when our philosophy is the future is CDFI. We really want to accelerate mass adoption, bridge Web 2, Web 3. So we want to see more infrastructure stuff, again, more decentralized computing. We want to make Web 3 more user friendly, right? Because again, we do believe that crypto is ready for mass adoption and we can really increase its speed. So those of you building, more consumer facing stuff, we want you to think really deeply about user experience and user interfaces. Third is that we believe that human behavior does not change, right? So when we think about human behavior in terms of like from 10,000 years ago to now, a lot of things hasn't changed. It's just that the tools in which we use to interact with our fellow human beings and our friends in society has changed, which means that different kinds of behavior can be amplified, right? So what does this mean is that we want to really, from tactically perspective, we want to focus on the largest use cases that humans will use, essentially. And the fourth point is a multi-chain will exist. We completely support this. We support interoperability and composability. We highly encourage this. And the last point in our philosophy is that decentralization is core, right? So really support all aspects of this as well. So this is the end of my slide, but I want to go to questions because I know again Simran has collated your questions. Thank you in advance for that. Again, this is the Google form. This is the link again. Please do type into your browser and apply. Send us your documentation. Send us a pitch deck. Send us demos if you have, and we'll be happy to look at them. And one thing to end off is that what I've shared here today, it's really just a really, really small part of the top of the iceberg for what we have planned. Watch out, next week we'll have another announcement regarding the 500 million investment program. And I think I would love to share more through the Q&A as well. I think if I have the opportunity later, depending on the questions that you have for me. But really, this is the start. We have a lot more planned. And I hope you stay tuned. Follow the blog, follow Twitter account, Binance Chain. And yeah, I am looking forward to your questions, Simran.
Hey, Gwen.
Hi.
Hi. So, hey, guys. Hey again. We collected a couple of questions over the past few days for Gwendolyn to answer here. So, we're just going to run it by her.
Okay,
So,
I hope they're good questions.
yeah, are you all ready for it?
Yes, I am.
Amazing. So, what commenced the idea of preparing a fund for not only crypto blockchain startups but also for mainstream emerging technologies?
Yeah, great question, right? Because I guess the assumption there is that why not just focus on crypto, right? To some extent. So yeah, so this is, I think this is something I mentioned earlier. We believe that the future is CDFI, number one. Number two, crypto adoption right now is just a few percentage points, 2 to 3% of the entire world. We want to see more. That we think that crypto has so much potential. Blockchain technologies have so much potential. So really, it's not just about the people like we are speaking to, like all of you who are watching right now. All of you are already in a crypto space. In a sense, you're not really the target audience, right? I mean, you're part of it, yes. And I'm part of it. Simran is part of it. But we really want, again, our friends and families, people who look at us and ask us, hey, what's this Bitcoin thing, right? or sometimes like, what is this BSC thing, right? And I have to explain to them. We want people to be able to understand the potential that it can affect their lives. But at the same time, when we think about the mass consumer, most people don't actually really care about what underlies a lot of products and technologies they use, right? So when we talk about going back to why the fund is that we really just want to encourage this everyday people it's again like our friends and families, all of us perhaps were everyday people at some point as well. I'm everyday in other aspects, I guess, where we want to bring more of us on board. And so the fund investment philosophy is that we want to seek out and really accelerate the bridging of Web 2 to Web 3, bridging bridging the user friendliness, because again, a lot of complaints even within the crypto space right now regarding like how different wallets are so hard to use, right? Or different bridges are so hard to use. So all these are solvable problems. That's the thing. Extremely solvable. What we want to do is to leap ahead, right? So once we solve these problems, what new things needs to be built that will really allow the world society to really use blockchain technologies and crypto en masse, like really in mass quantities. So which is why the fund and 1 billion, was set up, because we want to do that. Second large point here is that you see again, back to the 4 pillars, we realized over the last year is that again, there's so many different players, right? In the space, we need so many different kinds of people. We need marketeers, we need community managers, we need builders, you're super core, right? And different kind of projects. Again, we have DeFi 1.0, DeFi 2.0, a lot of GameFi, obviously. All these require different aspects. So precisely why we have the liquidity incentive program as well, because we want to drive and sustainable liquidity and drive user growth. So the reason for this fund is that we really want to make sure that we can actually grow the entire ecosystem across the different use cases and across the different kinds of people involved. Yeah, Simran.
That's crazy. And even when you guys launched the 1 billion fund, and how everyone was talking about how with the 100 million fund y'all went up to 100 million users, and now that y'all have achieved that, the next is 1 billion. So to have 1 billion users, you need to be as big as Facebook, or as big as those big fours. So that's a very big aggressive goal to actually go after, and I'm so happy Binance Smart Chain is in the position to do it. So that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and 1 billion, and we think about it, I mean, now we have like 7.8 billion people on the population, right, globally, right? And this is going to just increase. And so 1 billion is in my opinion, I wouldn't say extremely doable, but doable, right? I mean, the thing is, I think it's extremely doable in the long run. How
Yes,
soon?
it's
The
gonna take
question,
time.
exactly. The question is how soon we'll get 1 billion, and that's the thing. We want to get there way faster. If we can get it within the next 2 years, maybe, I don't know, that would be amazing.
Yeah. The world actually needs blockchain and cryptocurrencies at the moment, and I think it's a good time to even, be aggressive and think that, there's a possibility we can reach there. Even if not in 2 years, even if 5 years, it's gonna be a big thing.
Exactly.
Let's just hop to our next question. So
Okay.
that's how many projects, including hackathons, accelerator programs, and incubations, BSC Fund has supported in terms of funding.
Ah,
So
great. Okay, so
yeah.
I guess this question is really more like they almost kind of, the question kind of wants to know like how, what our traction is, how they can benefit maybe also, no? Okay, so over the last year, again, before that we had the 100 million fund. That was really only a small portion of that was actually distributed. And again, as Simran mentioned, BSC community, is really large already, right? And so over the last year, we've seed funded almost 60 projects, so kind of 55 over. And again, the ticket size was roughly up to 1 million. And also because the fund, we have separate, again, components. So we have the builder kind of program, or the builder rewards incubation program. So those kind of projects under kind of this kind of builder category of people or projects, so to speak, we also have approximately about 60 projects already. And we asked, I think Simran, you asked about hackathons, right? So in hackathons, there's an extremely important kind of type of events in which we have been engaged with, and we want to engage more of. In fact, currently now we have sponsored 2 hackathons that are ongoing and doing extremely interesting things. We put up bounties as well. So over the last year, we've supported many such programs, around the world, and over roughly 200 startups have been supported under these hackathons and different grant programs. So we've got good traction in terms of all these. But again, to everyone, this is really just a start, where these numbers may seem relatively large right now. And again, that was just with very a small portion of the 100 million. Now that we have way more funding to actually distribute to to deserving top depths and stuff like that, top teams, this will really just increase.
That's crazy. If you can fund or you can even seed fund or help 200 plus projects with 100 million, with 1 billion, you can do like a crazy
Yeah,
job. So
yeah.
that's
I'm going crazy. Yeah, I'm going crazy. But yes, Imran.
okay. So our
More
next
questions?
question is,
Okay. There are more,
pardon me?
there are more questions. Okay, good.
Yeah, we have five. So we are on the
Okay.
third one right now.
Okay.
Um, how are joint co-investments going to work? Which VCs and funding organizations are a part of 1 billion fund? So I think it's in line with all the announcements that you guys have been putting out about other VCs joining in. We all had a committee release also of an incubation committee. So what all projects are under this basically? What all
Yeah,
VCs are part of it?
absolutely right. So we, for the MVB Most Valuable Builder program, we have announced a whole bunch of mentors, and these mentors, a lot of them are for the top venture capitalists, so they're top investors. So yeah, so we do joint investments, co-investments, where we look at projects together. We do talk about promising project steps, companies with each other. So I think one thing I want to say here is that this is really just the beginning. So Easter egg for all of you right now. I cannot reveal too much right now, but you will see even bigger co-investment partnerships later on. So we have a lot of things in plan. This is really just the beginning. We're super open to different ideas as well. So we do want to have more partnerships with industry leaders, essentially, from again going back to the point, web 2 world, right? So there are many web 2 or traditional companies who are big market leaders in a certain sector. We want to help them jump into the crypto space. We want to help them bridge them into the crypto space, the web 3 space. And we think that a lot of these institutions and big, again, market leaders, industry leaders have already large use cases that they've proven out in the world right now. We'll love to kind of see how we can bring that again, use blockchain technology to accelerate their scalability, accelerate and improve perhaps certain aspects of getting a certain use case out to the masses. So you will see many more things regarding co-investments, and also many large partnerships. So next week you will see an announcement where we also do another call out, right? So market leaders, if you're running big companies, big companies, please do watch out for announcement next week. We want to share more and we want to hear from you.
That's great. Okay, so I think the next question is a bit tricky. I think we
Okay.
should just you should just skip all the names that you have to take. So the question is,
Okay.
which are the few top BSC invested projects that have recorded significant growth? I'm guessing you don't really have to name the projects. Might as well just talk about the growth.
Okay, so interesting. So BSC now in general for the chain, as all of you will know, there's more like 900 over depths right now. In terms of some of the top projects that been under our investment kind of arm and MVB arm, we have seen a lot of success. So I think a lot of people, while the BSC fund, when we invest in a project, we do not promise listing opportunities on Binance.com because there is a firewall. It's completely different identity. BSC is again a community. It's owned by all of us essentially, right? We're all part owners of it. So on our side, at the same time, from MVB 1 and 2, so MVB started in February this year. So we have two cohorts, 2 seasons already. Out of the projects there, we've seen 4 projects been listed already so far. So those are, if I recall, Autofarm, Alpaca Finance, yes, Mobox, and as well as Beefy. Yes, Beefy Finance, right? So these 4 have been listed so far. And also, we've seen some projects been receiving investment funding from us. So one was, for example, Pancake Bunny that received investment from Binance Labs. And another one we announced recently under the BSC Growth Fund was MC Dex. So we've got quite a few, projects that we've seen, good growth, and a lot of them as well have seen their market cap grow, user transaction grow, but also I want to mention kind of a few names here actually, Simran. So in terms of kind of market cap, one project in which we talked about, we invested in last year was something called is AnySwap. And since then they've added like definitely more than 100 million to their market cap as an example. And in terms of projects from MVB, we have like Binary X, Mars Ecosystem, Tranches, Hot Cross are also doing well in terms of how they're doing on the BSC chain. So we are very excited, that they're here with us, that they're here in the community and continuing to build good things. Yeah, we're really excited to see more of you kind of join this group of people. We have, we've seen again a lot of projects doing interesting things. Going back to the investment side of things, I want to bring it back, right? We want to see how innovative you are, right? So increasingly, we've been seeing some projects just being basically doing a copy and paste almost. We're asking a question, how different are you? And it's really hard sometimes to differentiate, right? And then the next question again is like, how short term and long term are you? And a lot of them, when you look at the tokenomics, it's not so sustainable, right? So we want to emphasize all that. So while earlier we talked about listing and market cap, those are in a sense important to a certain extent. I really want to emphasize to all of you builders, entrepreneurs out there, to focus on good traction, sustainable traction, so that you can actually build your product to really, really serve the masses, serve society, and really change the world in which we are living in.
That's great. That's so nice to know, Gwendolyn, because like I remember a lot of projects, a lot of BSC projects when they first started off, these were just like anonymous founders just talking on Telegram, just hustling through building their communities, and then they join BSC, and BSC gives them the kind of exposure they actually deserve, and the projects grow, and they're also so thankful. I always receive so many messages about it. I see so many projects doing really well after getting support from us. So I think it's a really good place to be in right now for projects
Yeah,
who are
we
building
are.
on top of BSC.
Yeah, we are. So once we invest, I think one thing I want to talk about here is that kind of what you also get when the BSC fund invests is that we really want to make sure that we are helping you grow, right? So we have BD support, we have some tech support. We want to make sure we can help all the different portfolio companies from an investment perspective. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that we're really dedicating the right kind of support to the right kind of team. So that's really important. So we just know that when you're focused on growing your platform, we are also here to help you out. Because when we invest, we are also here for the long haul. We really want to see you succeed.
Makes sense. So our final question, we've come to a final question, which is
Really?
basically,
Okay.
yeah, the fifth one. What are the few milestones the BSC funds will focus on achieving this coming year?
Ooh.
Plan for 22
Yeah. It's already like Q4, right? It's really like the end of 2021. But of course, again, this is
already.
super fast. Yeah, exactly. So I will speak about it in kind of two things. So MVB again. So MVB, this is season 3 right now. Season 3, we have a new incubation program where we've had again the different mentor committee organizations and individuals speak in very closed door fireside chats. So what we do is that we bring in speakers, and it's just literally just the monthly stars of MVB program. They get to ask all their questions. So season 3 is we're kind of midway, 2/3 through right now. So in roughly end November, end November slash first half of December, we're looking to have a demo day, and that is most likely going to be closed door to investors first, and then later on we want to kind of showcase them again a bit more widely. But again, we've got so many like BSC spotlights over the last year. We've got so many AMAs as well, and we have GameFi Expo, DeFi Expos, and stuff like that. We've got so many opportunities where, again, I mean, tying back to another point earlier, we talked about helping the companies grow, the projects grow, is that we want to showcase all these companies. So for focus on achieving this coming year is that we want to really step up again our ability and help that we render to the projects, help them reach more people through partnerships, and also fundraise and reach out to more investors and raise more funds so that they can grow their project. Again, going back to the slide I presented earlier regarding common startup failures, is that a lot of times it's really the lack of funding, right? But then that goes back to how strong your business model is and stuff like that. Another thing regarding the fund is that we are again emphasizing what I shared today is really just the tip of the iceberg. We have so many plans. So next week is going to be the first kind of another big announcement, and then more to that. We are also again open to ideas in terms of kind of partnerships and co-investments. Again, all very investment focused. Again, focus on different industries like infrastructure, decentralized computing, DeFi, GameFi, SocialFi, real world assets, and many more. Yeah. So really, what we're really here to do, really for the BSC Growth Fund, the 1 billion Growth Fund, and specifically for the BSC 500 million investment program, is that we want to again accelerate mass adoption. We want to invest in emerging technologies. We want to see more AI, see more VR, ML, and stuff like that. We want to see more of you bringing different kind of technologies and make the space even more sophisticated than what it is right now. Because when we look at all the use cases right now that we have, we see so much more potential still for other use cases, right? We want to see more Web2 real life use cases also being ported over and used widely in Web3. So we mentioned earlier a bit on real world assets. So real estate is one thing we want to see more of. We want to see more digitalization of assets. Really, this is just the beginning. There's so many more that I'm not going to state right now, essentially. But really want to just see you bring your ideas, bring your technologies, your skill sets, your talent to the space. We are really excited to really look at your project, look at your investment pitch deck, talk to you to potentially invest in you.
Nice. That's pretty good. So I think we come to the end of our session, Gwendolyn. We'll just give a shout out to everyone who's watching here. Thank you guys. Thanks to everyone who's live. And please do join our community. Do join Binance Smart Chain community on Telegram. Check out if you guys are developers. Check out our Discord channel, and just go feel free to reach out to us anytime. Gwendolyn personally even handles biddle@binance.org, where if you guys are sending any sort of application, her team reviews it and gets back to you guys. So definitely keep that also in your mind when you're applying for any of the programs that we have. And I've shared the link in the comment section. So if you guys want to have a quick view there, please go ahead. Would you like to share any final words, Gwen?
Yes, Simran, thank you. So thank you so much, everyone, for having giving your questions. The team collated them. Thank you for that. I think they summarized many similar questions, I think, right, Simran? So
yeah,
because many overlapping questions, I'm sure. So again, we really want to see you build new innovative things, new innovative products, platforms, use cases, bridge Web2, Web3, bring the mainstream online into this world that we are all part of right now. So the form is here, you are seeing right now. We really want to hear from you. And yes, please follow our Twitter account, managed by people. Thank you for putting the link there in the chat. Yeah. And or over the screen, I guess, or something. But yeah, we really want to hear from you, and I will see you another time.
Thanks, Gwen. Thanks, guys.
Thank
See
you, everyone.
later.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.